Well, the coyote, he didn't fall into that canyon floor. His cartoon legs started racing and he rushed across that clear air space. He just grabbed the rope. So now he's hanging. Just hanging on the rope. I wanted to make this video. I made the first of these videos about a month ago, and that was 3 weeks in. I'm now 7 weeks in. I had intended to make this second video a couple of weeks afterwards, so it's highly belated, and a lot of thoughts were in my mind. A lot of things happened at the time. A lot of stuff happened since, and it's still just basically overwhelming. So I'm going to rush and try to get a lot of this stuff in right now and bring some stuff up to date and maybe include some detail. I'm back at Lordsburg. I kind of feel it's appropriate, and I'm racing against this fading light. Is that a sign? Anyway, am I gonna make it? Dear old dad, I still just don't know. Let's digress for a bit. What started me thinking about making this video today, I saw my second Roadrunner ever today. And it was 5 hours ago. It's like 6 o'clock local here in New Mexico, but this was way back in Texas, 1 p.m. local there. I saw the Roadrunner, and it was on Interstate 10, and it was at Salt Flat, Texas. We were about a half hour out of Van Horn and a couple of hours out of El Paso, and there was a little culvert over a dry wash, and a truck raced ahead and passed me, and then well ahead of me after that truck, before I got there, this Roadrunner just scooted out across the interstate to the shoulder, flared and flashed his tail, shook his wings like a chook, like he was going to take off. "You're not going to get me, trucks!" And shot into the underbrush. I love Roadrunners. They're pretty cool. I like Roadrunners. So then I started thinking about this video, which is highly ablated and so much information that had to come into it. Catch up on some stuff, hint at other stuff. Really need to make the third video. This is the second. So that's how compressed I am in terms of how I'm feeling, what I need to do and what I need to say. And I'm trying to rush and get this all in because I've only got that trucking DOT 30-minute break, and I would love to go over there to the Loves and grab another coffee before I start rolling again. So that started me thinking, the Roadrunner, and of course the Coyote back then 3 weeks ago. Well, since that 3 weeks, he's just hanging on by the thumb and the forefinger at the bottom of that rope on the end of that gnarled tree that's leaning over the edge of the cliff. And he's got that expression on his face like, what? Like, what am I going to do? He hasn't even really got to the third video where he gets this cunning look on his face. And then in his mind's eye, you can see the wheels ticking like he's going to start swinging maybe. No, just a thumb and a forefinger was where I was 3 weeks ago. Let me digress a little bit further because I want to talk about, after I saw the Roadrunner, I started thinking about all the thoughts I wanted to literally pour out in a torrent to you now. Whew. One of the joys of trucking, one of the small joys of trucking. As I said, I was about a half hour east of Van Horn, 2 hours east of El Paso, and I'm trying to think about two things at once. I'm trying to think about what I want to tell you, and I'm also thinking about, yes, exactly the same spot I was in that first video. I want to walk back through this damn, possibly, rattlesnake, fucking hell, man. Trying to make some noise, infested area, so I don't know what it is. I'm Australian, man. We don't have that kind of stuff. I just want to get out of here safely. But I wanted to give effect to it by returning to, you know, where I was before. So here we are, back to the same thing. Yeah, so let's talk about the small joy of trucking and minutes on the video, because I want to make sure I got enough so I can get it all in. Man, middle of the last month of fall, I'd come through Balmaria. It was at Salt Flat, bright afternoon day. I mean, it's still like high summer out there. So look, the truck's at 80 degrees. But heck, well, hot wind and a little bit of blowing sand. So 25,000 on the back, light medium, I guess I call it. So that was buffeting the truck and trailer combination a little bit, but I can handle it because I've almost 6 years with a trucking. I've been out in the depths of the winter in Wyoming, up on the high 80, so I've seen some shit. So that wasn't worrying me too much, but it would scare a four-wheeler. So I started thinking about my video, and it's just the small joy of trucking, the scenery and the landscape. Wow, you know, like just the mesas and the mountains, the ancientness of the place, and the desert shrubs and the sagebrushes and the cordyline palms just gripping onto existence, you know, like this dry, desperate area, and just these flat floor, desert wide vistas. Just wonderful. And I had, between Salt Flat and Van Horn, I had this beautiful experience for a short period of time. Small joys of trucking. Let's go back to the main part of the video and the coyote hanging by the thumb and the forefinger. Let's backpedal a little bit. Let's talk about before that 3 weeks when I made that first video. There's three aspects to me trying to get this process together and get it going, right? The first aspect was like literally the bootstrapping, the resources necessary to take that leap across clear air. I literally only had about 10 days worth of money coming out of my dire situation. And it was very, very tough, very, very tough. I'm giving you details. I was screaming and yelling at my new boss, and I was like a week and a half out. I was like the last 24 hours of money I had, and still hadn't been paid. He was promising me a part pay or a partial pay for like 4 days. And I was very fortunate because when I first started, I came the night before. And I want to talk about two friends. One of them, what he did, unannounced, he said, do you want me to just take you to the yard? And I thought, well, fuck, you know, that would save me a boatload of money on an Uber down there. So I went down the first night and got settled and organised in the truck, courtesy of my beautiful friend. And I was in that truck last night, little known that, but most likely assuming that the next morning I'd get a load, right? And the first thing happened. In the truck that night, which is the second prong of what I'm talking about, just adversaries of being able to exist in this game, you know. Now let me come back to that in a little bit. But that week and a half or so, the day before I got paid the half pay, just a half pay of 1 week for doing a week and a half's work, my other friend, my mentor, came through. Just wonderful. I got a bridge loan that covered me. And so by the time I got to 3 weeks and I was making that first video, they had been holding a lot in, very like some aerial cryptographic, wasn't throwing up a lot of detail to you all, but he had got me through. And then I got my first full week's pay, so I had a week and a half's pay, and I was able to pay the bridge loan back to my friend. So without the bootstrapping of friend number one just taking me to the truck, and and the bridge line on my second, I wouldn't be here. And that was 3 weeks in, and then a couple of weeks after I wanted to make the video, that's some of the stuff I'm talking about now, but just so much extra stuff happened. And on top of that, I want to briefly talk about the first little thing that happened in the truck in the night. That's like in the first night was the enemy. This small thing, piece of equipment that's in the way in the truck, got bumped. And then there was a injury to this piece of equipment that made it unworkable. And I'm like, this is big part of trucking. I'm like, oh my God. If I have to go back to my dire circumstance now for 3 or 4 days or a week or whatever, you know, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to be able to come back. So I held a lot of stuff in. I'm still holding that piece of equipment in, but it's a pain. It slows down part of the process of the truck. Sometimes it's just a pain in the ass. It has a certain connectivity to the truck, but it's not really a safety issue. It's not a safety issue. But it would have totally fucked me up if I'd just come clean to the boss and said, this has got to be fixed before I run. I'd have been totally, absolutely fucked. So the level of literally superhero, Superman leaping over everything just to get to this point is unbelievable. So if I run out of minutes and seconds on this video right now, I've got a long way towards describing that. But beyond that, the 3 weeks, and then the bit where I wanted to make this video and talk more, I've said a fair bit about that. The coyote's still hanging. I mean, maybe he might be swinging now. I'm 7 weeks into this exercise, and maybe the first hump with the bootstrapping and the resources, and the second hump with what would you call it? Just issues that are threats to trucking in terms of maintenance and repair. My God, I mean, I need to make a video about that. I talked to my mentor about it, about what can stop you from having your income and your livelihood, right? It's not just crashing a truck. I mean, obviously, I mean, that's not really what I'm trying to talk about. I mean, if you're serving a burger and McDonald's, you don't have things stopping you from having your job every day, or just basically of the pay coming in regularly every week. In trucking, you damn well do. All right. So what else do I want to say? I need to make a third video. I need to talk about the other stuff. So the second hump with equipment kind of turned into a half hump because I held it close and I haven't really revealed it, and I've just been running. But then there was another issue, another big issue, and that added another little hump that I had to get over. And oh my God, that's a third video thing, and that is just unbelievable what's happened with that. And the third prong with this particular deal, this super dedicated mode, is this guy literally runs down to the nanosecond. And so every minute of every day, you are on probation. Am I going to be able... Hikisha, can you do this? Yeah, I can do it. But you know, if you give me a Western world philosophy where I have a little time for myself, instead of a third world philosophy where you're treating me like some farmer from some field on the subcontinent, and I'm just a tool and I'm a piece of shit, and you can replace me at any second, that is omnipresent. That is hanging over my existence right now. And again, I might talk about that at another point. And there's another video I wanted to make about hours of service. I was going to call it hours of servitude. Just watching my minutes because I want to get all this video in. So maybe the coyote's swinging right now, just swinging. Okay, I want to get to the main things that I really wanted to say, on the second video. 3 weeks in. My two friends, first of all, my one friend helped me with the bridge line. Just unbelievable person. My other friend who got me to the yard without me having to ask. I don't know how long ago it is now. I've kind of been putting it back because I've just got so much on. It's overwhelming. And the threats to my ability to continue to do, rather than just go back till dire circumstance, are just incredible. But I think it was maybe a couple of weeks ago or something or other, he called me and he said, I have a little help. And I said right then, after I got paid like a week and a half's pay for like 2.5 weeks work, I'm like, look, hold off. I don't want to take something from somebody if I'm going to make it. Well, to be honest, 7 weeks in, I still don't know whether I'm going to make it. But I want to be a fair man. I want to be a good man, you know. So, I mean, just hold off on that. I said, I'm still feeling, just hold off on that. I haven't really responded on it since. All I found out is there's been an arrival, something's come. I mean, that's great. That's fantastic. I mean, God, this is just so hard to say this. I wanted to say to that friend and my other friend, my mentor, people that have helped me, I wanted to say that one of my first videos I made, I have no one. And, you know, like, people would just, like, absolutely just die if you left this earth. Like, someone that, like, I felt like I just want to be around on this earth with that person. But I don't have those kind of people. I lost all those people. I lost all of them for various reasons. I went over it in that video quite some time back. But I said I have no one. I want to say that I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I do have someone. I have a couple of friends in the trucking side. I have a new one in the trucking side that my mentor has called my guardian angel. Isn't that wonderful? Who just started talking me out of the blue about his problems, which are common problems. And now some fantastic stuff's going on with him. He's an awesome guy. And then I have a couple, 2 or 3 friends, just regular friends. I do have someone. Maybe not absolutely like the people I'd love to have in my existence, but I have somebody. And I want to say before I make the 3rd video, and I have no idea when that's going to be, and as I said, he's just hanging on by the thumb and the forefinger on that, and maybe he's starting to think about swinging. Still don't know whether I'm going to make it, Dad, dear old Dad, just don't know. I just want to say I do have someone. And for those people that are in my life that have had thoughts, little thoughts, and done actions, little actions even, I want to say that I'm grateful. I'm really grateful.